When you picture the dawn of civilization, where does your mind go? To the sprawling Fertile Crescent? The golden tombs of Egyptian pharaohs? For generations, we've been told that this was the main stage where the epic of human history was written. But what if that's only one act in a much larger play? What if our history books have a massive chapter torn out, a story hidden for millennia in the mountains of South America? Right now, that lost chapter is being unearthed. A city that exploded onto the scene 3,800 years ago has been discovered in Peru, and it's forcing us to rethink everything we thought we knew. This isn't just about finding another ancient ruin. It's about uncovering a parallel experiment in what it means to be human. Imagine two master chefs on opposite sides of the world creating the recipe for society from scratch with entirely different ingredients. While Egypt's new kingdom was at the height of its power, another complex civilization was rising on its own terms, building monumental cities and commanding vast networks of trade. This is the story of Vichama, a city that proves the tale of human achievement is far more spectacular than we ever imagined. The big reveal. For years, a team of archaeologists, led by the legendary Dr. Ruth Shady, battled the unforgiving landscape of Peru's Huara province. They weren't just digging for stones, they were hunting for the next chapter in the story of the Caral, the oldest known civilization in the Americas. And then, they found it. Breaking through centuries of sand and soil, the foundations of a massive urban center emerged. This was Vichama, a city that thrived between 1800 and 1500 BC. To put that in perspective, this city was flourishing just as Egypt's new kingdom was beginning its legendary rise. It's like discovering two brilliant inventors were solving the same complex problem, thousands of miles apart, with absolutely no knowledge of one another. Located just 110 kilometers north of Lima, Vichama wasn't some sleepy village. After years of meticulous excavation, drone footage reveals a breathtakingly sophisticated city. Its design centers on a huge circular plaza, like the hub of a great wheel from which the city's life extended. This was a booming metropolis that prospered in what was, for all intents and purposes, a separate universe from the old world. A different kind of power. So what does it mean to say this city rivals ancient Egypt? This isn't a contest of who built bigger. It's about two profoundly different operating systems for running a society. Around 3,800 years ago, pharaohs were raising magnificent temples at Karnak, monuments built as grand stairways to the heavens for gods and the afterlife. On the other side of the planet, the people of Vichama were undertaking their own monumental projects. But where Egyptian architecture was focused on eternity, Vichama's design feels grounded, built around community and commerce, more like a bustling town square. Both were centers of powerful trade networks. Egypt had the Nile, its superhighway to Africa and the Mediterranean. But in its own hemisphere, Vichama was just as crucial. Its coastal location made it a vital hub of exchange, an ancient Amazon fulfillment center connecting the riches of the Pacific, the high Andes, and the deep jungle. This discovery proves complex civilization wasn't a one-off lightning strike in the Middle East. It sparked independently across the globe, with the Americas playing a starring role we've ignored for far too long. A deeper dive, inside the lost city. To walk through the ruins of Vichama today is to step into another reality. The sheer scale is breathtaking. At its core lies a massive sunken circular plaza, a signature design inherited from their Caral ancestors. This was the city's beating heart, a place for immense gatherings that was both their cathedral and their city hall. Surrounding it are the foundations of numerous major buildings, the undeniable blueprint of a highly organized society. But it's the buildings themselves that tell the most chilling story. One structure contains incredible reliefs carved directly into its walls, like a 3,800-year-old documentary etched in stone. The most shocking carvings depict haunting, emaciated figures, their ribs grotesquely visible. Nearby, another relief shows a human-like toad, a sacred symbol of water. Archaeologists believe this is a visceral diary of a people who endured a catastrophic drought and famine, and then carved their survival story, their memory of suffering and the joy of the rain's return for all time. The artifacts of a forgotten people. If the buildings are Vichama's skeleton, then its artifacts are its soul. They provide an intimate glimpse into the lives, beliefs, and passions of the people who walked these streets. And archaeologists have uncovered a treasure trove of objects that speak volumes. Among the most stunning finds are intricate, unfired clay figurines. Some are believed to represent high-status women, suggesting that power and influence weren't always a man's game in this society. They've also found beautiful necklaces crafted from seashells, definitive proof that goods traveled from the distant Pacific coast right into the hands of Vichama's citizens. But here's the most incredible part. Unlike ancient Egypt, with its hieroglyphs, no evidence of a writing system has ever been found here. This was a culture that passed down its history not with ink and papyrus, but with powerful symbols and architecture. Instead of writing books, they wrote their stories into the very walls of their city, making Vichama itself a library without a single page. The bigger picture and the great mystery. The unearthing of Vichama adds a vital new piece to the puzzle of human history. It helps confirm that the Americas were one of the world's few independent cradles of civilization, a place where society blossomed from the ground up, entirely on its own terms. But this discovery also unlocks a compelling new mystery. Vichama rose to power right as the great Caral civilization, its predecessor, began to collapse around 1800 BC. Archaeologists now believe the Caral were devastated by severe climate change. What if the survivors of a global catastrophe didn't just scatter and rebuild, but built something smarter and more resilient? That is the electrifying theory here. Was Vichama a city founded by climate refugees? Those stunning reliefs of famine are not just art. They are a history lesson carved in mud. Was this city the sequel to Caral, a new society built by people who learned from their ancestors, collapsed and moved closer to the sea for survival? The powerful architectural similarities suggest this may be the case. This transforms the narrative from one of simple collapse into an incredible saga of human adaptation. The ultimate mystery, then, isn't just how Vichama rose, but what became of it. Like so many ancient civilizations, its final chapter appears to be missing. Was it war, another climate disaster, or were its people simply absorbed into the next great cultures that rose in Peru? The answers are still buried, waiting for us to find them. Vichama is a city that, according to the old rules of history, shouldn't exist. It stands as powerful proof that human history wasn't a single highway leading out of the Middle East, but a whole network of separate roads, all leading to the grand destination of civilization. The people of Vichama built a world of their own, leaving a legacy in stone and mud that we are only now beginning to read. The story of Vichama is far from over, and it raises some profound questions. What do you think is the biggest mystery left to solve? Do you believe the theory that the city was founded by climate refugees? And if so, are its 3,800-year-old carvings a warning sign for our world today? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.